Hey watch lovers, Brad from Brent Miller Jewelers, back again today with our 5th round Grand Seiko versus Omega. And I gotta apologize, I do not have any Grand Seiko chronographs in stock. I don't have any Grand Seiko divers in stock. So trying to do this Grand Seiko versus Omega comparison with limited inventory. Again, we have great inventory, just nothing that I can really pull some of the other divers or chronographs or the Speedmasters for them. To really give the two manufacturers their due respect. So without further ado, round 5, I do have another Aqua Terra. I know I've posted, I think, 3 videos of 3 out of 5 have included an Aqua Terra, but because Omega doesn't have nearly the amount of GMT models that Grand Seiko has, again, I had a tough comparison there. So this will be the last round. Again, I do apologize. I hope I'm not disappointing you with another Aqua Terra. However, I did just get this SBGH295. This is the US edition, the Seiko Frost from the Heritage Collection from a couple years ago. I think maybe 2 years ago, give or take. I couldn't help but think this would be a great comparison to round out this last video. And again, I'm sure I'll do more in the future. And as inventory comes in, I will make sure I grab inventory. But for this 5 of 5, this is where we're going to land. And before moving on, I think I'm going to move on to Breitling versus Tudor or Breitling versus Omega next. Maybe Breitling versus Tudor next. So anyway, I got the 295 here at 40 millimeters across this case. So an even 40 millimeters above the crown across this reinterpretation of the 62 GS case. 37.5 inside the crown here. So just inside the crown across. It's not a true bezel because of the 62 GS case, but if it was a bezel on the outside part of that polished kind of part of that case there, 37.5, and then 33.1 across the crystal. Again, raised box crystal, 33.1, so just over 33. Compared to the Aqua Terra here at 40.9 across the case diagonally, 40.1 across that polished bezel, and 34.3 across that crystal. So the crystal, again, about a millimeter larger than the Grand Seiko. 13.1 millimeters thick on the Grand Seiko versus 13.3 on the Summer Blue here, Aqua Terra. So again, very similar. However, looking at these, because of that 62 GS case, it just to me looks visually thinner because of that mid case there and that polishing on the top of that. So again, just give you an idea how that looks side by side there. 47 millimeters lug tip to lug tip on the 295 versus 47.6, so about a half millimeter larger on the Aqua Terra. However, you do have male end links, and so I do want to point those out. 49.8, just under 50 on the Grand Seiko. We have a 21 millimeter lug width that tapers to 18 at the deployment clasp. So 18 here at the clasp itself. You can see the Grand Seiko logo or signage there on the clasp. I do not have any type of micro adjustment. We do have 2 half links, and you can see those are removable by screws. Exhibition case back, and that is the Highbeat 9S85. See if I can zoom in on that a little bit there, or at least clear up. 55 hours of power reserve. We do have a signed, I believe, screw down crown. Let me just confirm. Yes, signed screw down crown, 100 meters of water resistance, weighed in at an even 152 grams, retail $6,900. So again, quite a few similarities, not only just on price, but overall size, specs. 20 millimeter lug width on the Aqua Terra, so 21 on the Grand Seiko, 20 on the Aqua Terra, but again, tapers to 18. We do have a butterfly style to clasp on the Aqua Terra. Again, no micro adjustments, dual push button release. We do have some polished center links on this bracelet. Again, if you saw the video when I did this when we first got it, you do have the poised in with the hippocampus anniversary non-exhibition case back on this specific model. Underneath there, though, is the caliber 8900, 60 hours of power reserve. So again, 60 hours of power reserve versus 55, very similar. 150 signed screw down crown, 150 meters of water resistance versus 100 on the Grand Seiko, but both signed screw down crowns. Weighed in at 153.1 versus the 152 on the Grand Seiko. So again, they weigh about the same, gang. 6,600 on the Aqua Terra versus the 6,900, $300 premium on that Grand Seiko. Again, very, very similar. You got the date complication on both, 3 o'clock position on the Grand Seiko versus your 6 o'clock on the Omega. Gang, I think both of these are absolutely I'm a sucker for blue. I'm not going to lie. I think they're both fantastic looking watches. I really don't think you can go wrong here. It's just a matter of personal preference, whether it's brand allegiance or you see value in something that someone else may not. Very subjective on these. I love this blued second hand off of that. I kind of call it I know it's the Frost, but I call it that cracked ice blue dial. The teeth deck looks great too. I'll throw these both on wrist. Again, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. Size-wise, I'm not going to lie, I do prefer the Grand Seiko. It's slightly smaller, and I do think it wears on my wrist a little bit better. But again, just to give you an idea, I know many of you have commented the no lume is a deal breaker. I get that. Personally, for me, it is not, but I do understand, you know, if you want a little bit of lume, obviously the Aqua Terra is going to be the one for you. Let me hit the lights here real quick, show you what the lume at least looks like. As always, I greatly appreciate you viewing. I greatly appreciate the comments. Again, I'll be curious to see if the color here makes a difference in the Aqua Terra. Without looking at last week's results, Omega took the first 3-0. So we'll see if this changes things at all, and I'll see what I can come up with next. I'm hoping to have some maybe some better or more distinct comparisons between Breitling and Tudor and or Omega here in the coming weeks. So as always, appreciate you viewing. If there's anything I can do for you, shoot me an email, brad@brentlmiller.com. Let me know what you think in the comments between the SBGH295 and the Summer Blue Aqua Terra. Thanks for viewing. We'll see you in the next video.